Carson, Newman, and Wallace. Sixth place.
But this is what he just reported on the radio.
Yeah, definitely not a good sign when you feel it down on power and you're starting to.
We have had, but Jeff, think, I mean, we're way down 550 horsepower. So that's way down on what max power has been up 750, 800. So can't be turning the RPM they were turning. So something freak must have happened to that engine.
Leader Kyle Busch up 3.5. You know, we still have one driver who has not made a pit stop. Michael McDowell in 14th place, trying to run out this load of fuel and tires and stay on the lead lap.
We're not talked a lot about Kyle Larson. I mean, I really felt like this is a track where he shines, and I think it just goes to show you that's not exactly what this package is.
So what this two-car looks like, he may have had something happen here. What did you see, Mike? Did you see?
Well, he moved up 7 spots in the pit stop cycle, but did he brush the wall? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Right rear.
Oh, yeah.
I think he lost a little bit of his downforce when the car's up to 17, maybe Stenhouse ahead of him, where he lost some downforce and got into the wall.
43 laps complete. Stage 1 is 60 laps.
A sobering message from AAA.
Let's have a look at today's Ford Performance Track Facts. Matt Kenseth, who's going to do some short track racing this year, we saw on social media yesterday. He has the most wins here by a Ford driver with 3, and came from 31st to do it back in the spring race in 2006.
I think if you look at worst starting position at almost any racetrack we go to, Matt Kenseth's name always pops up.
I would also say, if you look at a common thread here at this racetrack, it takes some of the most talented drivers to get it done here. These are big, long corners with very little grip, so some of the best have gotten it done here.
12th place, Stenhouse going after Keselowski, and we see damage on both the right front and right rear fenders of the number 2. One of the most heavily favored cars here today.
And Mike, you saw the one car of Kurt Busch back there, how loose he was coming off the corner, back of that car stepping out. I think that may be what a lot of these guys are struggling with. Keselowski maybe goes loose and got it in the fence. I think I've seen that with a number of cars. They look real, real loose. And it's hotter today, Mike. It hasn't been this hot. There's no wind blowing. This is a totally different racetrack than what these guys have seen for 2 days.
11 laps to go in stage 1. Kyle Busch holding a 2.5-second lead.
You making time on me? Oh yeah, just cut it down from 3.5 to about just under 2. First I've heard of it.
That's Kyle Busch, knowing his surroundings. He's looking in his mirror. He knows that Denny Hamlin, his teammate, is making some good lap times behind him.
Well, Matt, that gap now seems to have stabilized at 2.5 seconds.
He was about a tenth to a tenth and a half faster the last few laps, and Hamlin has caught the 6. Hamlin's car, such a great long-run car. He says the change they made on that last stop, better overall, but it's still a little bit too tight on entry. They'll adjust that, fine-tune, at the end of the stage.
Turn 4, car up in the wall, coming to pit road, or did he just slow to get an entry to pit road without impeding traffic? That was the case.
Front tire looks down.
Ty Dillon.
Something happened to that car, Mike. He went up high and then came on pit road.
You'll see it all as we go side by side, closing in on the end of stage 1.
Live from the Starlight Lounge.
1 + 1 = 2, little too late.
A saga bam boom, losing the room.
Love is dangerous, but driving safe means you pay less. Switch and save, yes man. Excuse me, miss, does this heart belong to you? Would you like it anyway? Scoodly-doo-ba-ba-ba-ba.
2 tickets on a scanner as low as $99.
All white meat. Hungry boy. see.
We switched.
I switched.
We switched.
I switched to Chevy.
I switched to Chevy.
We switched to Chevy.
We switched for value.
For family. For power.
It was time to upgrade.
I switched from a Ram to a Chevy.
See why people are switching to Chevy.
We love our Chevy.
I love my Malibu, my Colorado.
My Camaro.
Our Traverse. Why do we switch? Just look at it.
Everything you say is going to do, you get it. Go take it.
Premier Boxing Champions. Peterson versus Lipinets. Next Sunday at 6 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
Beating Denny Hamlin, who's closed it down to 1.8 seconds. Now, we saw Ty Dillon. He cut a tire, drifted up near the wall, waiting for a gap to get down on pit road. Apparently, he did not hit the wall, but there he is right in front of the leader. Whoa!
Wow. Just when everything is going along perfect and smooth, something like that happens.
Well, pretty good timing. We are coming into the first stage, so.
And there was no caution. Now, the first driver to pit in that green flag cycle, Austin Dillon's day may be done. And it may have nothing to do with him feeling ill this morning.
Just try to stay with what you got here.
What a great run.
He was having a great run.
Top five.
Yeah, he doesn't feel well. He's been hanging in the top 5, running a great race car. Looked pretty good. Darn the bad luck.
Coming down the front straightaway.
Luckily for Mark Truex Jr., the 3 of Austin Dillon felt something going wrong, I'm assuming in the engine, pulls down, allowing the 19 of Truex to go smoothly to the outside.
Mike, what gets these engines here is that sustained RPM. From the middle of turn 4 to down into turn 1, you're in the throttle. The engine gets up to a certain RPM and it just hangs there. And it just goes through these incredible harmonics. That looks like a tire.
I don't think that's an engine issue.
Could be.
I think he tagged the wall and cut that tire down. That's what the smoke was from.
But that sustained RPM is very hard on these engines at any RPM range.
Well, he is under power coming down the pit road. He has the far pit at first choice of pits, being the pole sitter for today's race. Not an engine. So let's see what happens here with the number 3. We are under caution for the first time today. Vince?
Yeah, Austin Dillon, it is just the right rear. It's not an engine issue, but they are going to give particular attention to that right rear, and also you see the right front pulling out the fender there. Austin Dillon, by the way, who we noted before the race began, was ill and had to take a couple of bags of IVs this morning, has not said anything about not feeling well, Mike.
And the leader will pit with just 4 laps to go in stage 1, and a whole bunch coming with him.
Not the 11 of Denny Hamlin. He stays out.
You know what?
Matt?
And the 11, Denny Hamlin, stayed on the track. Meanwhile, the 10 of Eric Almirola, his car way on the free side. He says, you are certainly going to have to tighten me up on this stuff. It was the same complaint he had the first run today. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch, he's on the free side as well. Just absolutely no grip on exit Vince.
No, it's going to be 4 tires and fuel. Logano says he needs to be a little bit freer to start, but then the car builds tight as the run goes.
So NASCAR says they will go back to green before stage end. Larry, can you explain this strategy to us?
Well, we only go back racing for 1 lap. He has 26 laps on his tires. He absolutely will get run over.
Yeah, to me, this is a move by Chris Gabehart to hope that they weren't going to go back to green so he could get those stage points and those playoff points that are also out there for grabs if you win this stage. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. He's going to be going backwards in a hurry.
So Hamlin, Stenhouse, and Boyer are the lead lap drivers who did not pit. And Clint Boyer, who says he only has 7 cylinders, is going to be right up front. Should we restart?
Well, I don't think he really has a choice. They're having some issues. If it doesn't go back green, then he gains some valuable points that he otherwise would not have gotten.
And I think they feel like maybe they can get in and check it. Maybe it's got a plug wire off or something.
The signal is 1 to go. Jamie?
DW, that's exactly what Clint Boyer said. It may be a plug wire, guys. We're not sure, but exactly what you were saying, Jeff. They wanted to stay out. Let's get some valuable stage points just in case we lose that engine today. We'll have something to show for our efforts today.
Lap down cars pitting now as the field gets 1 to go. Ricky Stenhouse out there with Denny Hamlin. They'll restart on the front row. Here's Stenhouse.
You use too much brakes to see what you can do to use that less brakes here to the end. That's what happens when I don't use brakes. Tell me, give some data to look at, so that's fine. I don't care what the data says. I drive the car the best it can go, and I know how to do that. So don't question what I'm doing.
Woo! I like that.
Well,
don't care what the data says.
Listen, I love when the engineers get involved and they talk about data and all. That's great. But the computer's not driving this car. A human is.
That's right.
And you know, you've hired that race car driver to do that job. And sometimes, especially in the heat of the moment in the race, you got to let them go do that.
Packed infield. And great grandstand crowd here as we look at aerial coverage from Goodyear. Everything we learned making of NASCAR.
Well, this ought to be fun.
I think the biggest challenge right here is going to be Kyle Busch with Joey Logano behind him. And you know how good Joey is and Kyle is on these restarts. And maybe trying to avoid
wall going somewhere.
23 cars on the lead lap. Brad Keselowski made a long stop to address that body damage on the right side. But here we go. Approaching the Geico restart zone. It'll be 1 lap to go in stage 1. Hamlin, Stenhouse, front row.
You're clear by 1 to go, lane 22, 17 cars. 1 back, he's uncovered. 1 back, half back. Coming right to you, Papa. Inside. 22 is going to go with you. Inside 22. 3 back.
Whoa, trouble.
Crash, turn 2.
Big trouble.
Ricky Stenhouse.
Oh, that's not going to make his day any better than the one he was having right there before that restart.
Caution waves, and we will finish stage 1 under yellow.
Well, that worked out actually pretty well for Denny Hamlin.
See the 17 right here in the kind of the middle.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Oh, baby.
4 wide behind him.
He just gets a little loose. Probably got the right sides on that seam. Collects the 20 of Eric Jones. That turns him around. And a little damage to the left front of the 24. William Byron as he collected the 17 slightly.
Riding with Alex Bowman.
Still middle 3. Still 3, 1, 6, man, check up right front. You get down inside, you're good. Still middle 3, Caution's out.
Boy, for what that could have been, everybody got through there pretty lucky.
Right over the inside corner, clear. This U19 coming back. Keep digging.
A little damage there to the back of the 19 of Truex.
And the 42 of Larson. You see Larson, the 42, up against the wall with significant damage. He's already come to pit road.
Here's where the damage comes to the left front. The 24 of William Byron. He just nicks the rear bumper of the 17. Now watch. He goes up, I think makes a little bit of contact with the 6 of Ryan Newman.
Stenhouse is in, as is Larson. Stage 1 ends. Kyle Busch ahead of Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and Daniel Suarez.
In the 24 of William Byron and the damage that maybe he had by making contact with 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. But after looking at it closer, what an amazing job. First, he misses the rear bumper of the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Then he goes up. It looks like he slides up and maybe makes some contact with the 6 of Ryan Newman, but not so. Amazing driving by William Byron to miss collecting any damage.
So there are cars that were involved and got some damage in that crash at lap 60 as we ended stage 1.
I believe that 19 car may have quite a bit of right rear damage. It looked like the 42 maybe ran into the back of him.
And we have seen how critical that area of the car is for grip, for downforce in the corners. So that's an area that they're going to want to work on and really get it back to where it was if possible.
Vince?
Well, in our pole winner, Austin Dillon still in on pit lane. He had that right rear go down, and the rubber actually from that right rear wrapped around the rear housing, so they had to come in and address that issue. But all in all, from a body standpoint, they don't think it's as bad as what initially they may have anticipated. So Austin Dillon, the pole sitter, off and away.
Thanks, Vince. Place, Martin Truex. Here at Auto Club Speedway, Monster Energy brought the action, Rodrigo and Padilla and his traveling smoke show team in the pavement, out in the fan zone. Made a lot of noise, destroyed a few tires, and thrilled the fans.
They're coming into this racetrack.
So 22 lead lap cars, three of which now, Clint Boyer, Ricky Stenhouse, and Kyle Larson pitted before the pits were open, so they'll be restarting out back. Add Austin Dillon to that list.
Well, we certainly know the 11 to Denny Hamlin's going to come, and those that stayed out. But what do you do if you're the 18 or the 22?
Yeah, guys, if you're up there near the front, you only run a half a lap. Maybe if you're back outside the top 10, you maybe come. Jamie.
All right, so the plan for Clint Boyer, he already came in once. You saw them looking under the hood. They're going to bring him down this time. He has to shut it off. Tony Stewart, his boss man, was just in on the plan. They're going to change out a spark plug and a wire and see.
It's open. A couple of the Gibbs cars, three of the Gibbs cars leading the charge there. Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Martin Truex with a bit of damage. Kurt Busch in. Matt?
Staying out for those valuable playoff points. Another adjustment for Denny Hamlin. You can see the wrench in the back window. He said that the handling is about 50% better this run, but he still needs some more fine-tuning on this Toyota.
On a 2-mile speedway where aerodynamics are very important, that is a mess on the right rear of Mark Truex's car.
And that's a critical area, Mike. I mean, that behind that right rear tire is very critical.
And he won everything here 1 year ago. Brian Priest gets the free pass. Let's go back out front to our leader.
Yeah, things on pit road aren't going well for these guys, but the guy that things are going well with, let's dial him up, Kyle Busch. Hey, Kyle Busch, this is Jeff, the guys up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Going pretty good. Going real well for you. There's a lot of action out there, but looks like things are going pretty smooth for you. I am curious. Some guys really struggle with the track conditions and handling today. Things seem to be going well for you. How are you finding it?
It's definitely different than what it was yesterday, so I think maybe that kind of threw a few guys for a loop. Our car was pretty well balanced yesterday. Feels pretty good today. So overall, the Interstate Battery Camry feels good. So, you know, I think we had this conversation last week, but it'd be nice to keep the view the way it is and race this thing out and see what happens in the end.
Well, we all know what the results were last week, so might be the same today, but 2 more stages to go. Good luck. Thanks for talking to us.
You got it. Thank you.
Here at the end of stage 1. Auto Club Speedway, built on reclaimed land. This was a former steel plant. They built Liberty ships here for World War II. So the substrate underneath the asphalt here is very, very bumpy. We've seen it today, and fortunately, we have some great historic footage to show you this backstretch in earlier days at Auto Club Speedway.
Boy, how technology is advanced in the suspension of these cars today.
Actually, I believe that's Foothill Boulevard laying out Route 66 back in the day. Here's what it looks like from Daniel Suarez's point of view.
Oh, this is the smooth front straightaway section.
As we get ready to begin stage 2, let's have a check with Shannon Spake and the fellas in the studio.
Hey there, guys. Jamie, is that what it felt like on the racetrack? You were in this race last year.
Yeah, this track has bumps all the way around it, but the bumps on the entry to turn 3 look just like what we saw in that video.
So none of us in the pre-race show picked Kyle Busch to win this race. Are you surprised at what we've seen so far?
No, I'm not surprised. I expected that he would contend, but I thought the abrasive racetrack might get the best of him. Yesterday, he had to rally back from a delayed pit stop. Today, he's setting sail and he's setting the pace.
Yes, he is. Currently led the most laps. Mike, back to you.
Thanks, Shannon. 67 complete. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano will be on the front row for this restart. Busch is elected the outside with his Toyota. Logano's Ford to the side. Harvick and Almirola, 2 Fords in row 2. Then Swarger.
You're going to race on it.
Well, I said besides that, a little bit to do with that, but he was just, it looks like he was real tight coming
out there, but it was kind of an odd move as he went up to the top side, and Daniel Hemrick has had to come to pit road to repair that body damage as we watch this battle for 4th place.
Well, Harvick's looking a little racier. He looks like he's more comfortable, more confident in the race car, so some good adjustments there on that pit stop.
Back for the lead.
An 18 car, Mike, after about 5 or 6 laps, seems like he just gets a little bit better than the other guys. You heard Joey say he was a little tight. They loosened him up a little bit, but I don't think that was enough.
And look right behind him, his teammate, Ryan Blaney. So obviously some adjustments for these guys. The 18 of Kyle Busch probably didn't need a whole lot of adjustments. His car was really good. I look for these guys, the 22, the 12, some of these other
Race, and they have, you guys. They've been making adjustments primarily.
One of his most productive racetracks, trying for a 7th win. Jimmy said that the car was a little too free after they made that air pressure adjustment, Vince. On the last stop, they reversed that. The 20's down on the apron.
Well, in that 4 car of Kevin Harvick, we saw him drop from the front row all the way back outside the top 10. At the start of the race was way too loose. They made a track bar adjustment on that first stop, and since then it has been really good. In fact, the last time Harvick came to pit lane, they didn't make any changes at all to that car, just 4 tires.
And Daniel Hemrick had made a pit stop to make repairs.
Boy, very
sent
similar.
him back out.
Very similar to his teammate Austin Dillon. Made contact with that wall. Right rear tire goes down.
No caution as of yet. No debris on the track, so Hemrick will have to limp back around to pit road.
There might be some debris before he gets back to pit road, because that right rear tire is...
Could be him.
It could be. Could be that right rear tire come apart. If it does, you're going to throw rubber everywhere.
Looks like he's going to limp it around.
Man, you hear that? I don't wait.
Now we're still under green. Corey LaJoie comes to pit road, Beach to pit road. Suarez and Bowman battle for 10th. So no caution as a result of Daniel Hemrick's issue.
Wow. Clearing out all those inner panels, that's a pitter well over there. And it's just more air that gets inside the car. Tremendous amount of damage to that right rear corner. Big old piece of aluminum comes flying out.
That's the end of that crush panel. And repairs will Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, and Eric Almirola. Jay Leno, Chuck Liddell, getting his picture made, and Rey Mysterio, the WWE super.
Going on right now. Kyle Busch is smacking them down and moving on.
Yeah, but Joey Logano, I mean, he's
hanging.
He's hanging in there. I think a couple more adjustments.
Now,
and the 12 is starting to make some gains on the 22 of his teammate Logano.
Look at 2, 3, 4 there. Those are the Penske cars. In formation, probably just the way the captain would like it. The order doesn't matter, but getting to the front, that is the job, and those three Penske Fords are right.
Yesterday, they were 1, 2, 3 in the long run, in the 20-lap runs that we monitored.
And here's a guy that's been making some fantastic moves, has a fast race car right here, and that's Eric Jones. Matt?
Jeff, in the final practice, the 15-lap consecutive run laps, the 20 car of Eric Jones was very impressive. Right there with the Team Penske cars, Chris Gale felt like they were going to have to do a reset this year with this new package because he'd never run anything quite like it before. But he is hanging tough. Right now, the car was free on the first run. He's pretty happy with it right now, but he is just settling in about 3 seconds back of the lead.
He's come from 11th to 5th since the restart to begin stage 2. Larry?
Yeah, I'm looking right now, Mike, at the top 5, and it's all Joe Gibbs Racing and Team Penske. Of course, they've won all 4 races this year. They lead every category that's imaginable. In fact, you've got to go all the way back to Texas in early November last year that a driver that didn't drive for Roger Penske or Joe Gibbs found victory lane, and that was Kevin Harvick at Texas.
Wow.
Mike, I think one thing that really that some of these teams struggle with at the start of this race, it's much warmer today. We don't have a headwind. We don't have the winds blowing today like we did. I think that threw them a bit of a curve, but some of these guys have adjusted to the track today, and now they're running pretty well, like Keselowski.
Well, Vince, Joey Logano is starting to make some inroads on Kyle Busch's lead.
Well, and that's interesting because as he does gain ground, he had just reported a few moments ago that the car has gotten tighter. In fact, the tightest it has been all day. So they told him, we're going to free you up, but we're hearing a lot of that down here on pit road. A lot of teams experiencing a tight condition, especially when you get behind another car.
24 laps complete in the 60 lap stage 2. Here's a quick word from Duracell. There's the lead. Kyle Busch to Joey Logano, 2.6 seconds. And now it's starting to grow a little bit.
I think right now the two of Brad Keselowski's probably the best car other than Kyle Busch. If he can get clear of his teammate Joey Logano, I'd like to see what he could do in some clean air.
Well, doesn't it make you feel good? Because, I mean, Keselowski was a guy we thought would be a real factor today and have a shot at winning this race. He struggled early on, but now they've recovered and making a nice move toward the front here. I think you're right, Jeff. I think he can challenge 18 if he can get up there.
Now we saw that damage on the left side of Eric Jones' car in place. Look back to where he got it, and this is it. See the number 20, middle of your screen?
Yeah, watch the 17. Yeah, the 17 of Stenhouse gets loose here, comes up, makes that contact right in front of that left rear. I think that actually helped the 20. He's been going a lot faster since then.
It narrowed it up a little bit.
Kyle Busch, your leader. Joey Logano now 3 back. The first Ford, the first Chevrolet is Kurt Busch in 8th.
For Denny Hamlin, the car much better, especially down in 3 and 4. Still needs some help down cutting the corner in 1 and 2. Vince.
Wrench is in the window of the left rear. There's the adjustment right there. 4 tires for Kevin Harvick, just a little tight off turn 2.
Denny Hamlin exiting has never really recovered from pitting at lap 57, finishing 4th in the stage, or rather, Vince.
The two of Brad Keselowski, and you saw him make a move and get by his teammate Joey Logano, so you can understand when Brad was asked how the car is, and he said, can't you tell? It's a lot better. 4 tires, no changes. Matt?
Kevin Mindering called the 48 at Johnson to pit road. He didn't really want any big adjustments. Said the car is pretty decent. I just don't know why I'm not making up more room on the racetrack. The 10 is away as well. Vince?
The 22 of Joey Logano taking off just too tight, as we reported earlier. 4 tires and up a couple of rounds on the track bar.
So who has not stopped? Kyle Busch and Matt DiBenedetto.
No, but you just heard Adam Stevens say to Kyle Busch, bring it to me. I think he knows that Brad Keselowski just came in. So did the 22 of Logano. He can't stay out there too long before those new tires eat into his lead.
Boy, you got to be impressed with the job they've done on that 2 car to get it turned around, because he was struggling to start this race, but now he's maybe the fastest car on the racetrack.
55 miles an hour, plus a 4.99 mile per hour tolerance. His crewman and his sponsor are also from California. So Kyle Busch comes out down in turn number 1. Keselowski at the start-finish line now.
It was so much harder to tell this year because of momentum and getting up to speed coming off of pit road. So much different this year. But to me, it looks like another excellent job getting on pit road, in the pit box, and off for the 18.
Yeah, if I had to bet, I bet he made up time. The 18 did, because he's the best at getting on and off pit road, and that crew is on it, man.
To your point, Darrell, before pit stops, Kyle had a 3.4-second lead on Brad Keselowski. It's now 4 seconds.
Yeah, he's got a knack. He's just got that racing sense about him. He knows exactly where he is, what he needs to do, and how he needs to do it, and then he executes. That's what I like.
Bubba Wallace will be making a pass through. Too fast exiting for the Richard Petty Motorsports, number 43.
Well, Mike, I got to just say, people always are, giving us a hard time about talking about Kyle Busch and how great he is. But listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in this sport for 60 years, and I've never seen anybody can get away and do with the things that he can do with his race car and make it look pretty darn easy.
I agree, Darrell. We'll talk more about that as the afternoon goes on. But first, here's Larry with today's Driving Trust, sponsored by Duracell.
Yeah, Mike, 2019 is Kyle Busch's 15th full-time season in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. It's his 12th year to be at Joe Gibbs Racing and his 5th season with crew chief Adam Stevens. Their first year together was 2015, the year Kyle was injured at Daytona in Xfinity Series race. Remember, he missed the first 11 Cup races. They came back to win 5 races and the championship. Together, Adam and Kyle, they've won 23 Cup races together, including Phoenix last week. And speaking of Duracell Driving Trust, Tony Hirschman, his spotter, this is their 8th season together.
Wow.
And that's what I think made Richard Petty. A lot of the guys that were great back in my era, they were the same team and drove the same car number. They had the same crew chief. Jeff, you know this. You were at with Rick all those years, Hendrick Motorsport. That consistency, that pays off in the long run.
When you find the right group of people that work well together and have chemistry, and you can keep them together, the results are going to show for it.
And it's not sponsored by Xfinity. Just like last week, 12.7 seconds, Kyle Busch. He's going for his 200th win across NASCAR's 3 National Series. It's a very important number to him. I do not feel it should be compared to Richard Petty's 200 wins in the Cup Series. The appropriate number there is 52. That's how many Cup Series wins Kyle has. If you go way back in the day, and it's impossible to compare eras, NASCAR had, since 1950, 3 National Series. What is now Cup? What is now Xfinity, and the Modified. There are drivers like Ray Hendrick that have 700 wins across what were then the 3 National Series. But here is Kyle's total, sitting on 199 and about to hit a number that's going to be very important to him and his 0.8-second lead.
5 more people.
At ease, Maddie. USAA Bank is here to help. Bring in the burgers, buns, and beans ASAP. We don't charge much every turn. USAA Bank.
Big push coming from Elliott.
And this phenom is climbing the ranks of NASCAR's elite. Chase Elliott today, he'll never forget. 1 race at a time. Monster Energy Series racing from Martinsville.
Kyle Busch leading Brad Keselowski by 4.6 seconds. Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, 2 Toyotas, 3 Fords in the top 5. Kurt Busch is the first Chevrolet in 8th place. He's had Chevy's only top 5 finishes so far this year. Jamie?
And Kurt Busch, they've really made some nice adjustments on this car. I talked to his crew chief, Matt McCall, this morning. He said they were going to have to approach today differently than in practice. Well, Kurt backed it up just moments ago and said this car is definitely racier than yesterday. Still figuring out where he needs to drive this car with this new aero package, but he's doing a nice job keeping it in the top 10.
Well, you know, Jazzy, Jeff Curtis, he works on that car. And I talked to Cole Pern about Jazzy, and he said that when it came to studying sims and data and all that technical stuff, Jazzy was one of the best he'd ever worked with. And there he is, finally.
Here's Jeff Curtis, who worked with Martin Truex and Cole Pern at Furniture Row Racing last year, and when that team folded, moved over to Chip.
Him big time, Matt.
Certainly not what we saw a year ago, where he swept every stage and walked away with the victory. Bear bond and duct tape has certainly been his friend. A number of stops on pit road to try to seal up the best they can that right rear corner, which they sustained that damage on the restart. He just says that the car is just way too free, continuing to build looser as the run goes on. They're going to try to make more repairs the next time they hit pit road, but I will tell you this, he was not thrilled with some of the cars that are up near the front on that restart. He blames them for ruining his race. In fact, he said, we had the car that could have won. They took it away from us.
Still a long way to go, though. We're just past halfway. And boy, Brad Keselowski's team has turned that car around. He and Paul Wolfe took a car that really struggled at the start of the race, and they have made it a contender.
Boy, am I clear? Where am I getting beat, Paul? He's a little stronger finishing two than we are. That's it. That's my loosest spot. Good to know.
And that's what I've seen about that 18 car all day long. He is strong off turn two. He runs that high line. He gets a heck of a shot down the back straightaway. I think that's what Keselowski is lacking.
Fitz?
Well, they were way loose at the beginning of the race, as you guys noted, and they made a big wedge adjustment on that second pit stop, and the car has been so much better for Keselowski, and they're finally running like what they expected here at this stage of the race, 14 laps to go in stage 2.
Well, they did get in the wall early with both ends of that car, had to come to pit road and make repairs, but whatever that last adjustment was, Keselowski is one of the 2 or 3 fastest cars on the racetrack. Now, Keselowski and Logano have both won for Team Penske. As we look at our Ram built for the playoffs and concentrate on Ryan Blaney, led the second most laps through 4 races this season. What's he got to do to make sure he makes it to that round of 16?
Well, I think they just need to get the results that match their performance. He's been leading laps. He's been running up front. They just have little things, whether it be the way the strategy's unfolded or maybe, you know, some issue that has kept him from getting not only, you know, the top 5s, but also some wins that I feel like were maybe in his grasp.
If he doesn't win, can he point his way in?
Oh, I think he can. They got that kind of car. They got 2 great teams. He's got 2 great teammates to lean on. This kid's going to win he's going to win a race or 2 this year. I can assure you that. He's almost won last week, running good today. Things it might fall in his lap, but he's going to win some.
And that's our Built for the Playoffs, sponsored by Ram. Chase Elliott, running 10th, was quicker than Kyle Busch a lap ago, as was Ryan Blaney. And just in front of Elliott is Denny Hamlin. I wonder about that strategy call that they made, coming in for tires with 3 laps to go in the stage before the end of stage 1, and it's taken a long time for him to climb back up through.
Yeah, we heard him say he likes what the car is feeling. You know, the back tires might help him out, but now that we've gotten into a long run, you're really starting to see the speed of the 11.
See, one of the things I think helps these guys, they know that they're going to get the break here in a few minutes, and they just get that gap closed back up, they'll be back in the race.
Hey guys, if you're experiencing erectile dysfunction, you can now get treated anywhere. Like here, even here. Okay, maybe not. One delivered to your door. Just visit GetRoman.com, chat with a U.S. licensed physician, and you'll get FDA-approved medication delivered in discreet packaging. Roman.com/TV.
You have to be perfect. Every week matters, every one of them. Nothing ever goes to plan. I put a helmet on and I become a different person. It's gonna get crazy. Being able to go that fast and make split-second decisions. It's 140 degrees inside the race car and you can't afford to make a mistake. If you're not tired, you didn't drive hard enough.
Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. And the best team in baseball wins it all.
Beautiful but very warm Sunday afternoon. Campgrounds are full. Happy race day, everybody. It's going to be a great afternoon for racing.
As you saw, Clint Boyer thought he had a tire going down, came to pit road to get 2. We'll show you what happened as Kyle Busch continues to lead by 5.5. There's a look up in turn 4 as he and Corey LaJoie get together.
I'm surprised it wasn't a left rear tire. See, maybe he gets the wall a little bit.
I'm surprised it wasn't all 4 of them because they make a lot of contact here, boy. Boyer hung onto that thing, kept it out of the wall.
Boyer's already having a rough day. That's definitely not going to make him any happier than he already was. But, I'm just surprised that was a right. He didn't touch the wall. They made pretty heavy contact on the left side. You'd have thought that would have been a left rear.
It might be.
Well, it puts him 2 laps down along with David Reagan. Right now, Ricky Stenhouse is in the free pass position ahead of Ryan Preece and Ryan Newman. Jimmy Johnson has fallen from the top 10 now. He's in 12th place. And here is 6th place from our Jimmy John's onboard.